I remember seeing a big construction sign for Star, the red sign with the white, so it really stood out, down on a vacant lot at Route 4, before they started working on building Gnomes, which I think was a pretty big project at the time. It was the tip-up construction, so we had a really good relationship with Gnomes, and so they, their management group and their CEO invited me out a few times to, while it was construction was going on. It was really impressive. We were looking for design build. The in-house architect, John, was a big part of our decision. We went out and we received, I think, 6 different requests for qualifications while we were looking for the right fit for us. And, Star, by all means, satisfied all the requirements that myself and my team put together and how we graded the RFQs. So there wasn't anybody who touched Star's capability. The design phase was really great. Again, John and Todd, John Reyes and Todd Mielwitz came in quite a bit in person. Didn't really rely on the phone or email to do a bunch of stuff for the design period. So I appreciated them coming in, and we rolled out paper on the desk and looked at this and looked at that, and John would go back and make some changes and then email the changes, and we would look at things that way. But I think, that whole design period was very short, because what he initially put on paper after they listened to what our needs were was like exactly what we were looking for. So I think that was remarkable. They actually heard what the customer wanted and laid it out, stayed within the bounds that we needed to stay within. I think the other part of the design piece that a lot of folks may not realize is how much work the Star did with us in the city for the change in zoning, fitting the detox into the right spot on our campus, because there's some limitations to how much area, square foot under roof you're allowed to have. So they brought a lot to the table, a lot of experience to the table that really helped the project happen. And I don't think the project would have been that successful with another group. The construction phase was really, really great. And then, of course, the weekly meetings we had, Todd and Tony would come in, and we would talk about, okay, where are we at? What's coming up next week? What's the itinerary look like? Todd would give us minutes of every meeting we had. When the invoices started to come, they were done very well. Everything was annotated correctly. Just a really professional way to do business. And it saved us a ton of time. And a lot of people, again, don't always figure that part in, but how much time did I spend on the project with Star? It was a minimal, because I didn't have to, because I knew stuff was being taken care of. We don't have any issues. A couple personal things we had asked them to come back and change, like some lighting, adding a switch here, stuff we figured out after we opened, came out immediately and took care of it. First of all, the team knew exactly what the right options were for certain parts of the design build, like for the floors and, like what size doors and some of the other things that maybe, another group would have kind of let us decide. And, the value in them doing and having the knowledge of like different surfaces and different components was really invaluable. It was great. And when it came time to do the bulk of our finish schedule, we had, we were presented by Star with these boards with different finishes and different handles for hardware. And just everything was done very professionally and very efficient. So the value that Star brought to the project was, it saved us a lot of time, and time is money. what surprised me the most was the exponential amount of work that got done on a daily basis. What do you really expect to be done today in terms of how much block is going to be laid or how much of the roof is going to be put on, or any part of the project? And it was amazing how well things were staged, because a lot of things were laid out in the parking lot. And that goes to Tony and Todd and your whole team and the architect, how things were ordered, what came on site, what was on the building site, what was ready to be installed, making room for another part of the project to have a place to be put. And for other business that you might get in the future, that's something they may have to really consider if they have a tight area. How do you stage? And that, again, Star did a great job with that. Staging equipment and supplies, that was a big surprise. We got so much done so fast. I would tell anybody who needs something built new or remodel, that Star is my highest recommendation. And in the future, when we do some other building here on our campus, they will be considered the highest quality group we could hopefully get on board again.